Weyakwin, just on Grid Road now. Off the highway heading into Weyakwin Lake. It's 14 kilometers. We'll be rolling into a burn here. They had a good burn here a couple of years ago. Oh, what do we got here? There is one big black bear. That is one big black bear right there, and he doesn't really care that we're here. Hey, buddy. How's it going? He's a big old boy. He doesn't care too much that we're here. Looks like he might have found some berries or something. Hey, buddy. He is one fat boy. Getting ready to have a nap, huh? Getting ready to have a nap, hey? No. What a gorgeous animal. Yeah. You're beautiful. He's not bothered by me at all. He's a fat one. Hey, buddy. Gorgeous. All right, so here we are. Just got the canoe loaded up. We're running a little late. Moon's coming up, so we gotta get rolling. Gotta find camp before it's too dark. I just go around that point over there and along the shore, and there should be someplace along there, at the very least at the beach. And that's that. All right, here we go. It's a little breezy. Looks like the lake's a little rough around the point there, so we'll hug the shore. Temperature is a balmy 11. So I grabbed my headlamp thinking I might need it, and of course that's the one thing I didn't check before I left, so it's dead, so I'll need to charge that tonight. Like here around the corner. It's a little breezy. There's definitely some white caps over there. So we'll see if we can avoid them if we stay close to shore. I don't have to go very far, but it'll be against the wind and into the waves, so we'll have to see. Well, she's a little rocky out here. But again, we'll see if we can hug the shore, stay out of trouble. They shut down the campground here. They gated it off. So my hope was that because we got here so late that I'd be able to stay in the campsite tonight, but yeah, she's pretty rough. It's okay, we'll stay close to shore. But she's rough. Stay head on to them and hug the shore, we should be okay. I don't know, man, that's getting pretty big. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think this will be a good decision. Shoot, I thought we'd be able to hug the shore and stay away from this. I mean, it's not terribly windy right now. It's sort of starting to calm down, but the lake is still really rough. So, I'll just pull into this cove here. make a decision because it gets even worse ahead. Yeah, there's some big rollers in here. This is not good. But it is Weyakwin Lake, known for big waves. It's very round. I'll show you here in a minute. Gotta hit these big ones straight on. That was a good one. Yeah, I think we're windbound. Take this one kind of hard. We might have a spot right over there. Alright, so here's camp for the night. It ain't much, but it's the only floor I could get. And it's still gonna be tight getting the tent in here, but it's all we got, and I can't go any further, and I'm not gonna go back. So this is it. Home sweet home for tonight. Back in a bit. All right, so I'm in my house. And you can still probably hear the waves crashing and the wind blowing. It's pretty blustery out there, which is a little odd for this time of night, but hey, it's fall, so. And I'm close enough to the store at Weyakwin that I'm picking up the debate. So really roughing it. This is my disconnect weekend, but it's all good. Where I'm going tomorrow, if I can get there, there'll be no internet. So anyway, snuggled in, and we'll see you in the morning. Ciao. Just wanted to turn on so you guys could hear this wind. I'm actually camped in the only spot I could find where I could put my tent. It's just so thick in here. Right, there's about 7 spruce trees right surrounding me, and I'm in some sort of a hurricane. It's an incredible wind. I don't know, you guys should be able to hear it. So, I'll check back with you in the morning. Hopefully none of these trees fall on me. Yeah. So, it's been blowing all night, and it's still blowing now, and I'm not getting on the lake. Definitely not getting on the lake today.
At least not this morning, so it looks like it's going to be a relax day.
Morning, folks. So yeah, here's where I camped last night. Very small little spot. And that's all boggy down there, so I couldn't get down there. And there's nothing really up there either, so this was it. And it is cold this morning. The wind is still howling. So I think that's gonna be a wrap. I mean, those waves are like they're 3 foot, 4 foot swells. Somehow I have to get back around that point, back to my truck, which is going to be interesting. Very interesting. But we'll see how it goes. Anyways, yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna lighten up anytime soon. Let's go have a look on this other side here. Let's go around the other way. Look at that. These are 5 foot, 6 foot waves. Insane. That's the island I want it to be at. But there ain't no getting there today. And if I knew that it was going to calm down later today or even tomorrow, then I'd wait it out. But the weather doesn't even say there's wind out here today, so you can't count on that. So I think I'm just going to try to get back to the truck and come back maybe next week. Yeah, so anyways, we'll see you in a bit. All right, coffee time. All right, so I think I pretty much got everything squared away. I just had a little snack, just some pepperettes. and I got some coffee on, and be able to take a bit of a break here right away, thankfully. It's a bit of an adventure. You guys want to see? So there's the canoe. It's full of water at the moment. Nothing I can do about it right now. Still got these waves crashing in. There's no point in even trying right now. So hopefully it'll calm down later today, maybe this evening. I'll be able to get in there and empty it out, repack it, and get to my truck. That's the hope. So hopefully it calms down. It's just pounding out there still. Like, there's very little, of course there's wind, you know, whatever, there's lots of wind out there, but down here I'm nice and sheltered. So, but yeah, definitely a little more than I bargained for this adventure. But that's the way it goes. At least I'm prepared, and was able to get the fire going. And I'm just drying out all my stuff. And of course I did have that jacket and these pants and this shirt and a couple other things in a dry sack in the dry bag. You never know. That's why we do that, right? But yeah, not a lot of fun, but hey, it's part of the fun, isn't it? It's part of the adventure. I thought I would give it a try to see if I had one opening there where the waves sort of broke a bit, and I tried to take it, and the waves they're too big coming on the side, and swamped. That's the way it goes. So here I am, but everything's all squared away. I'm warm. My stuff will be dry soon, and if I have to stay the night, I'll stay the night again. It is what it is. But my hope is we'll be able to pack up later, get the canoe drained and repacked, and then just hit. I mean, I'm just past this point here, around the point and in. I could probably walk to my truck through the bush, but I don't want to. What am I gonna do about the canoe, right? So anyway, my coffee's ready. I'm gonna have a coffee, sit down and relax. Hey folks, so here we are, my little version of alone. So last night I got to this lake named Weyakwin, and the plan was to, I got here pretty late, about 6:30, sun was already going down. So my plan was to paddle around a couple of points, get to a third point and camp for the night, and then head to an island and camp for a couple of days today. So I came around this point last night, and the waves were probably 5 foot. It was nasty. In a canoe, as some of you know, that's not a good scenario. So instead of turning around, I just hugged the shore until I got to a point just up over here, and I hunkered down for the night. And then this morning, I thought, well, I'll show you here, because it's still rocking pretty good right now. So you can see that she's rocking pretty good out there, and this point is kind of giving us a bit. This point is kind of giving us a bit of a break, but it's still thumping in here pretty good. So I hugged this shoreline last night and stayed up on the point over here. And then this morning I packed up, loaded the canoe, and of course really tough with all of these waves breaking in here. But I thought if I could get a point you know, where there's a little bit of a break, then I'll take my chance and get up over out here. I made it to here, and my canoe swamped, and there it is. So there's nothing I can do now. I was completely soaked. One of my bags isn't waterproof, and it got wet and everything inside. But of course I have all my dry bags, camping or tents and sleeping stuff and all my other stuff. So all that stuff was dry. It's all good, except for that one bag that I didn't have in my dry bag. And that's what you see hanging around camp. So this is my camp now. Until I can get out of here. I'm completely windbound. Until it breaks, till it dies down. I'm hoping it'll die down in the evening so I can get out there and bail the canoe and reload it and head back for there's a point over there into a bay which will be out of this wind, and then back to my truck and all is good. But until then, this is it. This is home. So like I said, I pitched my tent up on that point up over there last night and broke everything down and packed it up today. So I'm here now. There's not a lot of room for a camp, not a lot of room for a tent. I do have my hammock, so that might end up being a thing. I got to take it out to dry because it wasn't in my dry bag. Or I have this little spot here. I think I can get my tent in here. It's relatively level right here. It starts to... So I got a little room right here. I think this is probably where I'll tent if I have to stay the night. But I got a nice little fire going, and all my stuff is drying. It's not raining out, thankfully. There is some sun, so that's good. And yeah, so this is where I'm stuck until it decides to let up. It has let up a fair amount from this morning, but it's still rocking pretty good out there. And there's nothing I can do. I can do anything about my canoe until these waves calm down, so I can get out there and start bailing. So hopefully she'll calm down soon. But until then, I have lots of wood. I have lots of food. I got that one bucket there full of food, and my kitchen in this one, and of course all my camera gear in that one, all my other charging devices and batteries in that one. And so of course those are all waterproof, so they're fine. And yeah, that's that. So here I am for the next little while. Could be a day or two even, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'll keep you posted. And my tripod is actually still tied in the canoe. So that's where it's going to stay until I can get out there. But I'm going to cook some dinner here soon, so I'll come back at you at that point. So I have two of these. Both of them are charged. This one's going down because I've charged my phone and my headlamp last night. So once this one's down, it'll be down after it charges the phone. Then I'll hook it up to my Goal Zero or whatever it is, and hopefully be able to get some sun into it, and maybe get another charge of this. I don't like this one. It's very it's not balanced very well. It's very heavy on this end, so when you chop it tends to bend. I need to get another one, but so I got all my sleep stuff, tent, bed rolls. I got 2 sleeping bags because I'm a big guy and none of these sleeping bags I fit in. So I bring 2. Sleep on top of one and one over top of me. Got a dry bag inside this to keep my emergency clothes, which I used today. And then this one is just an extra set of boots, all of my chair and my hatchet and toilet paper and all the sort of extras that I don't ever want to get wet. There's a towel in there, there's a bunch of different things. And that's my kitchen, that's my food. And that's that. And all my, of course, my camera gear and the big one, chargers and batteries and stuff, and the little one. And yeah, that's my outfit. And of course my 30-30. So I know some folks don't take a gun with them. I do. I just find bear spray to be hit and miss. So I bring my 30-30 with me wherever I go. It's just kind of the way it is. And it's I mean I love this gun. It's such a beautiful gun. It's small, it's light, easy to handle, and will stop anything that's coming at you. And not that there'll be anything around here, I don't think. Bears, they'd have to walk through all of the cabins to get here. We're on a peninsula here, and backing the peninsula is all the cabin association. So it's really not much of a concern, although it's getting late in the year and there's not a lot of people at the cabin, so it wouldn't take much for a bear just to walk through. So, and there's around, I mean, we seen one last night and he wasn't too shy, so it's always good to be safe. I think that coffee's probably warmed up enough. Yeah, I think so. Good enough. Gotta have cream. Nice part about being out in the fall is your perishables stay relatively cool, which is good. So they stay a little longer. I'm only out for 3 nights, so I'm not too worried about that spoiling, especially when there's no real heat. Ah, beautiful. Coffee. So things are starting to dry here. That's good. Shorts are just about dry. Socks, they're the toughest to dry. They take the longest, they're the thickest, and my bunny hug will be bit to be dry. But we have time, and it doesn't look like it's gonna rain anytime soon, so I'm very grateful about that. So yeah. All right, let's see if we can get my tent pitched here. Because I think I'll be staying the night. I want to get it up in case it rains. I can always take it down later if it calms down and I can get out of here. But if it doesn't, and then it rains, I don't want to be putting this up in the rain. All right, so sleeping quarters addressed. So really, now we're just going to wait for clothes to dry. Probably make some supper here in a little while. Just some noodles, maybe some bacon. We'll see. Or maybe some eggs. Maybe eggs and bacon. That's probably what we're gonna do. All right, check in with you later. All right, so supper time. Get this cooking first. Son of a bitch. There. How come it always has to be at the bottom? So I was gonna do bacon and eggs, but I think I just want it quick and easy tonight, and that means some noodles is all I need. So these things are really handy. This pack actually even got a little bit wet, but because it's sealed in this little bit of tin foil, everything stayed dry. But they're super easy. Boil some water, throw it in. If you have butter, and I usually bring a little bit of butter, margarine, throw it in after, and boom, you got dinner. It's filling, it's tasty. I don't know, and a whole lot cheaper than Yak or Backpacker's Pantry or Happy Yak or whatever it's called. I still have a couple of those too if I want to get creative or a little bit more, but these noodles are delicious. I think I got a little bit too much water in it this time, but that's okay. It'll be warm and tasty and good to go. Yeah. So while that's cooking, I got a bit of a story to tell you guys. Oh, I guess I already told you on my other video, on my other camera. So I don't need to do it on this camera. All right. We're good. Crazy story though. So it turns out there's an update to that story though. So the older fella that I talked to, he came back around here after and we had a little chat. So it turns out this kid that was in the boat was by himself. It was a 16-foot Lund with a 20 horse on the back, and somebody found it just going in circles. So he obviously was somehow ejected from the boat or fell out of the boat, and the wind was blowing in the opposite direction it is now, so it was blowing from over there this way. But yeah, I mean, it's been a week now, so they're basically searching for recovery. Poor guy. But so anyways, he asked me, have I seen anybody here today? And I said, no, not a soul, other than you guys, of course. He said, because the RCMP said that they walked by here a couple of times, or they said they walked the shoreline, and I don't know how they missed me or I missed them. So I thought that was a little odd. But the interesting thing is, we got to talking a little bit, and I told him what my name was, and I said, oh, I'm a Friesen too, and related to the youngster that seems to have drowned. So we got to talking, and he told me he's from Rostern. Well, that's where my dad is from, Friesen, and so the chances are pretty good we're related. Just a weird twist to this horrible story. But they're out looking the shoreline again tonight. I guess, like I say, on a recovery mission, and there's a couple other search and rescue groups that are out as well. So hopefully they can at least recover his body. Anyways, dinner is just about done. And we'll eat. I keep saying we, like there's somebody else here, but we meaning you'll watch me eat. But yeah, I'll just set this over here for now. There. Cool. A little butter in there. Sorry, not butter, margarine. Usually I bring butter, but
This time the margarine was there and handy, so I just grabbed it. And we'll put in a little hot sauce here too. No, that's syrup for the pancakes. Hard to tell if it's hot sauce or ketchup. Definitely hot sauce. And just for fun, a little bit of Montreal for good measure. There we go. Montreal steak. So it's yeah, it's nice and warm. It's a good warm meal, and it's filling, and lots of good stuff in it. You know, you got your carbs with the noodles, and it's tasty, and it's simple, which is what you want. I'll let that cool off a little bit. Pants are almost dry. Okay, one more. Little cook here. Socks still got a bit to go yet.
I'll go for a little stroll here. Still hammering out there. Take a walk to the point there. So one of the other things that happened, I guess last night or over the night, I'm not sure what happened to my kayak paddle. I went to take off this morning and it wasn't there. So I don't know if I just forgot to put it away properly or what the hell. That's the problem when you set up camp in the dark. You're in a bit of a rush and you can't see properly. So I don't know. I hope. I mean, it's been wavy like this, blowing like this all night. So I can't see it going out. It would get pushed in. It would be along the shore, you would think. But I just can't find it. Can't see it anywhere. Very odd. And that's the point I need to get across. I just can't do it. But I was sure I put that paddle up here last night, and I don't know. I just can't figure it out. Get over here, you can see how windy it still is. It's so nice in that little area. I got shelter. But it doesn't look like rain clouds are building. It's too windy for that to happen. So that's a bonus. Come on, wind. You've had enough now. Alright. And it's quite a bit colder when you're standing in that wind. You guys just yell if you happen to see my paddle, eh? So this is where I stayed last night. And I was sure I thought I brought my paddle up here. I don't know, can't figure it out. So it's a good thing I brought one of the wood paddles. Hello. Oh, hello there. What's going on? Oh, I'm stranded. All right, so we ran into some folks there. They just live back over here a little ways. Anyways, they are on a hunt for a young fella who was out by himself in a boat and capsized, I guess, out there somewhere. A week ago, and still hasn't come back. So that's sad news. That's man, you never want to hear that. It's pretty sobering. I would think he was, by himself and capsized. You would think that if he was going to make it back, he'd already be back. So, but they're out looking on the shore between here and there's another point over there. See if they can find him. Man, terrible news. Anyway, yeah. So I'm back at camp, and yeah, we'll have a chair and maybe make some supper here soon. All right, ciao for now. Well, the wind has stopped. A beautiful morning. We'll get that canoe out of there and get out of here. Yeah, so good morning. I got the canoe
out, but of course, rubbing on these rocks all day yesterday and 2 nights, it has worn some holes in it. So now it's time for a bush fix, just so I can get back to the truck. Always got to have your duct tape with you. So, got a big one here, and another, that one's not good. Little one here. This one's not through, and this one's a little hole there, and this one's almost through. So we'll do the duct tape, and all I gotta do is get around this point, make it over to the dock. So I think it'll hold. It's a pretty significant hole, but I think the duct tape will hold until we get back. I sure hope so. Just gonna let her dry a little bit yet. All right, so we got her all patched up, and now I just gotta go pack up and bring all my gear over here, get her loaded up, and get out of here. All right.
Oh, tired already. Oh, I hope that duct tape holds long enough to get back. I'm sure it will. Son of a bitch. All right, that's it. Nothing hanging in the trees. All good. Fire's out, I dumped water on it. Alright, now just my rods, life jacket, and paddle. Alright, now, still haven't found my other paddle. Somebody's got a gift. Although I imagine once it fills up with water, it probably sinks, eh? So maybe I'll have a look as I'm coming out here, maybe I'll find it. But I'm not going to waste a lot of time because I have 6 holes plugged with duct tape. Oh, come on. Alright, so I think I'll put it in first. And then load it. far so good. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, can we see my other paddle? Well, it's staying pretty dry in here so far. Nice day. This is what I was hoping for the last couple days. No, the paddle's gone. Let's just get to the trunk. So as you saw at the start of the trip, it wasn't much of a trip. I didn't travel too far to get a little adventure. So this is the bay where all the cabins are along this one side here. And this is all I had to do to get back. But to me, it doesn't matter how far away from home you are. If you're not prepared, you'd be in big trouble. But I mean, at the end of the day, if I was in any real trouble, I would have just been able to walk through the bush over here. So, I mean, not a huge risk. But things happen. I'm just glad it wasn't raining. That would have made things quite a bit more interesting. It's a nice cabin. These things have been here probably close to 50 years. And here we are. And we made her.